Hi, everyone. Happy New Year from myself and Shirley. And this is Shirley. Um,
It
some
may say Rachel C, but it's not Rachel C. You know who I am.
Shirley. I just wanted to let you know that it really is Shirley and that we have to help her change her name back later. But anyway, Happy New Year and welcome to episode 20 of Whisper Words of Wisdom podcast. We're so happy to be able to start the new year with you. And I want to say that wow. A lot of things have happened, right, over the last year. Look how far we've come. I am finally healthy. Thank you. Thank you. Shirley is finally healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Um, and we are so looking forward to spending this new year with you. And we want to keep growing and expanding and introducing you to new things. So we really don't have anything magnificent planned for today, but we're magnificent, aren't we, Shirley?
We are.
I
We
think
are.
we're
We have enjoyed the last hour together talking about things that both of us are looking at doing in the next year,
yes, some of them individually and some of them together.
collectively. Absolutely. And I think one of the nicest things about coming into a fresh new year, it is like opening the windows. You know, when you've gone through winter and you just open the windows and that breeze comes in and it's not hot and it's not cold, but it's fresh. And I look at every new year as freshness. There's a newness, a freshness, especially after all of us have done so much work last year of letting go of old ideas, old beliefs, old needs, and finding out in that process what we didn't need made room for what we did need
Right.
and what was really ready for us to receive. So the new year, even though I'm 22 degrees this morning with not opening windows, it still feels fresh. It feels like energy that is about to produce sometime in the spring, they're about some beautiful flowers.
Well, I'm going to say this. I do have my window open just a little bit, just to let some fresh air in because this is the first sunshine I've had and I don't know, I can't even remember how long. Um, and where I'm healthy enough to actually be able to breathe it in. But walking the dogs this morning at like 20 degrees was a truly awakening experience.
It
So
was awakening.
if anyone wants an early Uranus experience, walk your dogs at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning in the Appalachian Mountains, and you will be wide awake very quickly. So, but they love it. I mean, they little Mystic has her coat on and she's going real quick, and Maverick is being Magic Maverick, and oh please, since he learned to
I
live
hear
his
you.
life, he just thinks that everything is available for him to water. Everything
Mhm.
in the neighborhood is
That's
well watered.
interesting. Mhm. Yoshi is like that too. We were out this morning. It was 23 degrees. And but we got out a little bit later than you. Normally we're out between 5:30 and 6, but this morning it was more like 6:30, so we had some light. But Yoshi likes to stop everywhere and let whoever comes behind him know that he's been there.
Oh yeah, we have that as well. We
Yes. Miko, on the other hand, I have two Shih Tzus, and Miko just wants to romp and romp and romp, and then he'll see Yoshi stop, and he'll go back and see what Yoshi's looking at. But they're very playful dogs. They're very companion,
isn't it
clearly a companion dogs.
isn't it funny how they are? They have
Hmm.
so much to learn from animals. I always said that if we just pay attention to nature and
Hmm.
pets and you know we learn so much from them, and people just take those little things for granted every day, but there's actually a lot to be learned there.
Well, I
Well,
knew that it was cool in the house this morning because normally if Yoshi comes under the covers with me, he'll start licking. It's like, okay, mommy, it's time to get up. And this morning he got He got under the covers with me. He nuzzled his nose right down there at my thigh, and he went back to sleep. So I just figured it was probably a little bit cool, and he didn't want to be cold. And so he came under the covers, and he was going to stay down there for a while. So we had a good night's sleep and got up a little bit later, which was really nice.
You and I walk
But
our dogs around the same time.
mhm.
I didn't know you walked your dogs that early.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yeah, I do too. And then we,
we do. And it's really interesting, even when I have been ill, not in bed ill, but just with all the stuff that's been going on in our communities. Um, it feels good to bundle up. I always bundle up and get out there in the early morning air. And the other thing, to see the moon, so
right
beautifully.
this morning,
Yes.
it was
Oh,
really
look at that.
cool.
You
I
see,
know. I don't know why it does that.
I don't know why it does that. That is so cool. Um, but to
Sleep
see the
hour.
moon and the stars and the planets, and some mornings to what we're angled such a way that some mornings when we're walking the dogs, we see the sun rising on one side and the moon going down in the other. And you feel like you're really being kissed, blessed, because you have the sunlight and the moonlight and you're right in the middle of it. It's such a beautiful way to start the day.
Well, what's
It's
interesting for me, and that is because I do that as well. What's interesting for me is that at night, now the moon, like the last full moon in Cancer was right here, and I just sat here and looked at it, and it moves all the way around. And then, like when I'm getting up in the morning, it's made hit it's the trip around the house, and it's shining in the bedroom window. And then while that's there, the sun's coming up, and it's beautiful. But some nights that Cancer moon was really, really bright. And I'm really surprised that the moon was so bright. It was last
a
night.
week from Wednesday,
Yeah, it
a
was.
week ago Wednesday. It was huge,
Oh,
orange, and big. It was amazing.
for me, the full moon actually looked like it had this magnificent rainbow around it, but it wasn't the typical, you know, red, green. It was more like pastels.
Hmm.
Absolutely gorgeous. It really
Well,
was.
see, you're further west than we are.
Yeah, yeah. But
So
we're
you get a different reflection than we do.
yeah.
It's
That's,
really interesting.
oh yeah, I didn't think for
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, it was just absolutely gorgeous. And I took a picture of it, but it just doesn't know justice. And even with the professional camera, with the 35 millimeter, it's just, and now the phones are so advanced. I think that sometimes my phone takes better pictures than my 35
Oh,
millimeter, you know?
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
but
So, do you make resolutions? I didn't make any resolutions this year.
no, I don't like to make resolutions. Maybe because it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't like to put that pressure on myself. I know that sounds like a cop out, right? Like, bummer, Robin, you should know better. But honestly, I have a very, very good reason why this year. Because the Capricorn moon is on the 11th. And I figured I'm going to save all of my energy and plant all of my seeds and all of my intentions on that Capricorn moon. I'm going to take full advantage of that energy moving forward. And yeah, I'm not a New Year's resolution person because I think people put pressure on themselves, and then if they don't meet their goal, then they beat themselves up. And
It
I think
doesn't,
I think we've been beat up enough the last few
yeah.
years.
Well, and that the other thing that I found over time, obviously, because everybody grows up with, oh, New Year's resolutions. But I find that every day as I sit in meditation, I set my intention for the day. And my intention isn't always to complete this or complete that or complete the other, but it's how I want to live in this day. And yes, I have a list of things that maybe I want to get done, but it's more how I'm doing what I'm doing. what energy I'm in to complete a particular task, and connecting with that energy within me. So setting an intention and then open myself to the energy that will help that intention come through, and not necessarily have a what is it going to look like in my mind. I know what it's going to feel like when it's completed.
Love that.
I don't know what it's going to look like, because these eyes are eyes that see oftentimes through an ego vision or past experiences. But the emotion, when I sit in that intention, I bring in that emotion of what will it feel like to be that person in that situation. Then I know when I've gotten there, because that emotion shows up.
I love the way you said that. I think that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And right now, like we're still in a process of release until that Capricorn moon. So, the priority is still self-care and resting and, you know, thinking about, and if you think, oh, well, I have so many things to do, I'm wasting time. No, you're not, because you're in the process of releasing and making room for the new, like we discussed before. And, ideas that pop into your head, like write them down. And
Hmm.
then, plant your seeds on the new moon and the Capricorn moon. And then we just have to not put any form to them, like you said, any expectations on them. Like we know they're going to grow, but is the flower going to be pink or is it going to be red? Are you going to be disappointed if the flower is yellow, Like, and just let the universe bring it to you. But, you know, um, there's something to be said about planting seeds. When you plant seeds, you do have to water them.
I was going to say, yeah,
That you still have to put in
energy.
work toward, not just the intention, but you still have to put in the energy or put in the work, put in the time um, to help those things come to fruition. But right now, it's just a beautiful time to relax, release, integrate, revive the body, take care of your health.
Hmm.
We want to continue to do those things. So I have some new things in the works. You have some new things in the works. Like I want to say, like, what are you looking forward to most this year? And let's leave politics out of
I
it.
am looking forward to the free flow of my expressions in writing. I know what it feels like, and I like it a lot. And I am looking forward to that being um, more prevalent in my life. It is such a joy when I enable myself, and I say that literally, I enable myself to clear away whatever blocks I might have. Because as you well know, I love to write. I also love to speak. Um, I was talking to, I'm taking physical therapy right now for a knee situation. And we got to talking about writing and things like that. And I said, well, I really enjoy liking writing. One of the things I enjoy even more is speaking. And I said, I've had people tell me they could listen to me all day. And I just met this person one time. And this was my first session with him. And he looked at me and it was at the end of our session. And he said, I could listen to you talk all day long. And so
Oh,
those are the kinds of things that I'm bringing out into the universe this year.
well, you're a Taurus, and I just looked at your chart, and I saw we were talking about your Venus,
Hmm.
and I can't remember if it's on the cusp of your Taurus Aries or if it's yeah, I can't remember if they were shared houses or not. Or yeah. Anyway, most
Mm.
people who have Venus and Taurus have a beautiful voice, but you do have a beautiful speaking voice. I've always felt like, do you know what it reminds me of when I talk to you sometimes? Like sometimes literally I could go to sleep and it's not because you're boring, it's because your voice is so soothing. Who is it? Matthew McConaughey that does is it Calm? Is that
Oh,
the
yes,
Calm to
yes.
help you sleep or something like that? That's what, like, I think to myself, she should be recording meditations. I always think that, and I always forget to tell you. And it just popped into my head again because I forgot to tell you before we went live. But
Good.
I
Then I'll have to do that. I
yeah,
have a group of people. I had a group called the Divine Self, Facebook group. It was a private group for about 3 years. And whenever we did it, I would do a meditation. So I have all of those. They're sitting there. They're waiting for me to do something with them. And but some of the gals, mostly women that were in the group, would also say, "Do we have to stop?" Or some of them would fall asleep, you know. Um, but I'm very blessed with that, with the voice that I have. I
you
feel like the universe blessed me with
and
a confidence.
you not only enable yourself, but now you allow yourself. You gave yourself permission now. Like
Mhm.
now it's okay. Like you've you've gained like the wisdom and the knowledge and you've learned the lessons and you've walked the path that you've done the journey and um you've learned that leaving breadcrumbs doesn't work. So we have these markers, these stones or concrete markers or whatever you want to call them in life. And it's like I don't know, it's like the seasons. There's a season for everything, right? And the same thing happens in life as we get older. So
And if we're blessed enough to still be around as that happens, and as we age, because we don't have to age in the sense of becoming crippled or not being able to do the things we always want to do. I think aging has more to do with allowing, as you were saying, allowing yourself to know who you are and allow yourself to express the person that you are in whatever medium feels most comfortable to you, and there may be more than one.
yeah, it's giving yourself permission to do whatever it is you want to do, whether it's write or speak or uh, you're an absolutely brilliant speaker. I mean, I've seen you speak. I mean, you are a brilliant speaker. And you have not only the voice, but the flow, the way the energy flows, the way you can light up a room. So I look forward to all of that in this coming year. With Pluto moving into like Aquarius, it's all about freedom.
It is about
And that freedom includes allowing, freedom for us to allow ourselves, like you just said, to give ourselves permission to be, um, I think I did a card reading. I pulled some cards last week. I don't remember what day it was. I think it was like a Thursday or Friday. And I think you were on there. There was a girl named Linda. I'm not going to use last names. And when I was doing her reading, the words, I think you might remember this. I kept saying, I want to say, it's okay to be free. It's free to be me, to just say it's free to be me and remember to breathe.
that's
Like,
right.
I've been talking about that, like breathing. Like when everybody was saying to me, like back in September and October, like, what's the best thing I could do for 2024? I said, breathe, breathe. Because so many people don't breathe properly. We talk about this all the time. And matter of fact, I'm gonna share the book. It's by James Nestor and it's called Breath. And if there's one thing that you want to put on your reading list, if you're an avid reader for 2024, I would say this book, Breath. I don't make any money off of this. I'm not an affiliate marketer or anything like that. But this book is very, very interesting. And look at the lungs, the way they did it. Isn't the artwork gorgeous? Like how creative is that? Um, but how we don't properly breathe and how, the lack of oxygen has changed, like even the way our brain processes things, the shape of our mouths, um, the way we chew. And this, for everybody that got hollered at in school for chewing gum, this tells you,
Tells you to do it.
because when you chew gum, you breathe differently. You breathe in a proper, more natural, holistic way, like the way the cavemen, used to breathe. And because our diets have changed, we don't chew as the same way, and the whole shape of our mouths and our jaw lines have changed. Like that's why people will say, some people, they'll talk about, we come from God, from Adam and Eve. That's their belief. And then we have Darwin's theory of evolution. And, I remember even myself as a child, because I used to question everything. I mean, I told you I got put in a corner at Sunday school for asking about God, why God let people suffer. That was that. Um, but I used to think, well, if man came from ape, how come we stopped evolving? How come apes aren't still evolving? Well, because we don't have the same diet, we don't exercise the same, we don't breathe the same. And it's just an amazing, interesting book. And I'm not usually, how can I say, like I'm not somebody that would be out there. Like I believe in being healthy and exercising and all that stuff, but I'm not normally like somebody that would be out there like, I would probably sell you false eyelashes before I would sell you.
A book.
I'm not, it's not that I'm an avid reader. I'm an
I
avid
know
reader,
you are.
learner, but let's just say this wouldn't be my normal reading material. And it caught my eye when I was looking for something else on Amazon. Gotta love Amazon.
I love Amazon.
Until I should buy stock in it. We should both buy stock in Amazon.
I know.
Anyway, this would be on my recommended reading list for 2024, which on the website on the robincarroll.com, I'm starting that will be going up next week, where I'm adding books.
And I will add some to that also then.
Yeah, Course in Miracles and some books on Buddhism for like beginners, in intermediate and advanced.
Hmm?
Uh, some spiritual books, learning books, places where you can buy them other than Amazon, so you can get them at a discount.
Cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Well,
you want it quick, you
um,
want to go with Amazon. But if you have Prime, but if you want it, there are a lot of places that you can get things cheaper than Amazon.
like near me, I think it's called, what is it? Half Price Books.
Half price books. We have one in Richmond. I mean in Lexington.
There's one here, and then online it's called, oh, help me. I know I shared it with thriftbooks.com.
What is it?
Thriftbooks.com.
Thrift. Yes. And here's the other thing. When you're on Amazon and you want to buy something, especially a book, and it's new, they're going to give you other options. And if you look down, even on Amazon, I picked up a book that was going to cost me $35 on Amazon. And when I went down to other options, I found that same book for $14. All right, I didn't get the next day service for the book. It took me probably 4 days to get the book, but from 14 to $30, and it said it was in good condition. I thought, okay, I can do good. And it is not in good condition. It's an excellent condition.
I remember.
There isn't even a bent ear on it.
Yeah.
So it's something to consider before we just hit the click and go move on, when it give us other options. Also, things I have bought that way as well are when things have been returned. Amazon has things that have been returned that they can't sell at full price. And or there doesn't have the box that it normally had. It's just amazing the way we can, if we take an extra minute.
Yeah, depending.
And I'll tell you what, you were talking about breathing. And that is one of the things that are so important for all of us to do. Because if we pause just for a minute and take a deep breath and then slowly let that breath out. Gosh, that feels good. And in that pause, especially if you're confused about something or should I click this right now, pause for a second and then ask the question. You've just put enough oxygen into your brain that your brain might be able to think or see or hear it clearly or more clearly than it would if I hadn't just taken that breath. So
Well,
that's just a suggestion.
I have put myself on Amazon restriction. But I will say this, during the pandemic, Amazon became one of my best friends.
Hmm.
And I'm very good with that, you know. But now I pretty much have them everything that I need. I mean, there's always something we want, okay?
Mhm.
But I have everything that I need, except for maybe one or two things, and I need them to teach a class because they were things that got lost in the move that I need to replace. Okay. So I've been replacing them like one or two at a time, and I still have a few more things. So they're in my shopping cart. They're in my,
I
I
get it.
save them for later and then I move them up. But impulse buying
Mm,
in my cart, and I have to wait at least 24 hours before I push the button because one more day is not going to make a difference.
no. I am really good at not being an impulse buyer, but I have used to be an impulse buyer, and that is not a healthy thing for me.
Well, it's
Uh,
in energy now. That's why this is a rule.
ah,
I
I'm glad to hear that.
Jupiter,
Clear.
Jupiter went forward, Jupiter's expansion, and
Mhm.
so and then when with what do we have in Taurus? We have Uranus in Taurus, so that's going to bring us surprises. So we don't know what that's going to be.
What's
I'm
that gonna look like?
that's what I'm looking forward to. Wonderful things, and but but
So
Jupiter,
what
Jupiter
I
could
was
give us
just
a tendency to spend more money than we normally would because we're so jovial, and we've just gotten over the holiday season and well, now it's New Year. So now you get all the sales. Like I literally got something half price. I got something else for like it was $199 and I got it for 19.99.
I think you told me about that, but one of the questions I have for you, because you asked me, what am I moving into? What's going on with me? How am I going to become into this new year? What about you? How are you coming into this new year?
Wow. Wow. I will say this.
Healthy.
Healthy, healthy, happy, um, excited. I'm really excited about some new things that I have in the works. And you know me, I've been preaching about, what my theme for this year was going to be breathe. And it was really interesting because over the holidays, at Christmas, um, I was supposed to go to a gathering and people tested positive for COVID. And so I did not go. I chose to stay home instead to keep myself healthy. And but it was a wonderful opportunity and blessing because I watched some old movies with Cary Grant, whom I love. Um, and nothing like bringing up Baby with Katharine Hepburn, right? I mean,
Oh, yes, yes,
love that
yes.
movie. And what's the one where he builds the house? I can't think of it.
I remember that one too.
Something's house. Anyway, with Myrna Loy. Um, anyway, I watched those and I caught up on some YouTube videos that I only have like a handful of people that I follow now because I just, don't have the time, number one. And number two, I wasn't feeling well. But like everybody that I was watching was saying the same thing. Like breathe, breathe, breathe. And I'm like, wow, this is just like confirmation after confirmation after confirmation on what I was saying. And I think every once in a while our ego still likes to say you're doing the right thing or you're on the right path. And it just feels good, you know? And So when I kept hearing the breathe, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now I know how to move forward and what to do. So I did click a button before New Year's. I clicked a couple buttons before New Year's. They were things that were sitting in my cart for like 3 or 4 months. And because I wasn't well, I didn't feel like I had the clarity at the time to make the decision. And I found out right before Christmas that my scan was like 98, between 95 and 98% clear. And I just found out yesterday that I'm all clear, not one wheeze, not anything. This coughing and this that's going on right now is just seasonal allergies. So I really just feel blessed to be able to move forward with in a healthy way and to maintain my health. So I am moving forward with Breathe, and it is on my website for a reason. And I have started a promotional line, which I shared. So I'm going to just share since we're on here.
Yay! I wish you would. I wasn't going to push you, but
Going to be coming out. I knew what you were hinting towards, and I was going to save it, but so these are the mugs, and they're both sides. And then I ordered some pens. I only ordered a few, so I'll be ordering some more because I wanted to see what the quality was. So these are the pens. And
I love.
it's just like a beautiful reminder. But these are, like I was telling you before, because I had a shoulder surgery. Actually, I had three shoulder surgeries on this shoulder and bicep. So I lost some of the fine motor skills. So for me to write, it's hard for me to write with like a really fine pen, which is what I used to like in the past. So this has a nice weight. It has a rubber grip, so it doesn't slip if you have the arthritis or issues like I do with fine motor skills. Um, so I love these. They came out beautiful. And I have t-shirts that are coming, and I'm going to be doing a workshop with the t-shirts. They should be in sometime next week, so probably like at the end of the month. I don't really want to initiate anything until after the Capricorn moon is when we want to move forward. We want to plant the seeds. Mars is forward, Mercury's forward. It's still in its shadow, so there could still be some delays and things like that. Um, and Saturn has moved over into Pisces, so it's Saturn's structure, its responsibility, and Pisces can be airy fairy, so it could use some, the teacher's going to help ground Pisces a little bit. So maybe it won't be so much pie in the sky and a little more feet on the ground from time to time. And that transition from Pluto into Aquarius, that's going to be beautiful. It's freedom. We're finally
It's
free. Like I was telling you, I did a reading last week, and I had said to the girl, like, I feel like I just want to say I'm free. I'm free to be me. Just walk around and say I'm free to be me.
right.
And we don't feel so like Saturn is let up on us. We don't feel so restricted. You know what I mean? And that it can be restriction. Um,
So shall we wrap this up with being free to be me?
yeah, I think so. I want to
I
say
like that.
Happy New Year. We're glad
Happy New
you're
Year.
back. We'll be back next week with a proper podcast. Um, Remember to breathe. Breathe. Hopefully next week, hopefully, if the t-shirts come in on time, I'll have the t-shirts. So you want to breathe and be free to be you. Because on the 20th, Pluto moves into Aquarius, and Aquarius is about the people, it's about freedom, it's innovative, it's forward thinking, it's technology, it's AI, it's going to be all these things that Shirley and I do not know how to use and understand, and beautiful things that we're going to learn to bring into our lives.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for this new year, and
I
I'm
am too.
share it with you and everyone out there.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you so much. I've so enjoyed our time together.
I love you.
I love you. Namaste.
Namaste. Mwah. Everyone, remember to like and share, and feel free to email me with any suggestions for anything you would like to learn this year, or if you'd like to be a guest. And if there's anything we can help you with, well, you know how to contact us. Just look below the video on YouTube, and all of our information is there. So loads of love. Happy New Year. Be safe. Remember, you are free to be you. The old programming no longer exist, and breathe. It is probably seriously one of the most important things you can do this year, because we are going
I
to
just
breathe through some of the energy coming in.
just remember something. It is the one thing that has always been with you is your breath. The first thing you did when you got here was to breathe. The last thing you'll do when you leave here is to breathe. It has been with you forever. Now it's time for us to utilize it correctly. That's all.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love
Bye,
you.
baby.
Bye, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.